Hello and welcome back to Leavosh Gaming. Today we're playing a speedrun of Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, where you're going to use the same save file. So we got this total of 2 hours, 43 minutes, 30 seconds. So at the end we'll compare to that and see just where we're sitting as far as time. Again, I'm playing on mouse and keyboard, which I've only ever used before for the initial Spyro, but I looked up what hover is.
Is this rain ever gonna stop?
This is Daniel, by the way.
What the sun looks like.
All by myself here, except
We
for
should go on vacation.
Pierogi, the puppy's
Somewhere
with me.
warm. Somewhere sunny.
Somewhere warm and sunny would be nice. It's horribly
Dragon
raining
Shores,
here
yeah.
where I am.
I haven't been there since we kicked Nasty Nork's butt.
Last week, we kicked
How
Nasty
about it,
Nork's
Sparks?
butt.
You up for a vacation at the beach?
Also, hopefully the audio
Well,
should be a
there's a
little bit
Nork.
better. It was very loud and overpowering last time around, so it should be rebalanced a little bit more. Apparently, I'm watching the cutscene.
Almost.
Spyro
Just
2
a
actually
few
has
more
like more
adjustments to
story
these
than
orbs
Spyro 1,
and-
so I'm okay with watching the
Maybe
cutscenes a
this
little bit.
isn't such a good idea.
Though
The dragon here could just make Ripto more angry.
Calm down,
Hunter
Hunter, and
pisses
stop
me off.
fidgeting.
But you saw the professor.
What they did to Hunter
They have
pisses me
claws
off.
like this, and
Where it
teeth
becomes
like this,
kind of a
and it
jock
can spit
instead of
fire
the
like
lovable
this.
idiot mechanic.
They sound much
Laura's
more
okay.
dangerous
I
than
mean, they
Ripto.
made everything more
That's
cartoony,
exactly
so
the point.
it makes
a
sense that
dragon
she's
is our
more
only
cartoony.
chance of stopping Ripto, and you know it.
I hate what they did to Sheila in Spyro 3.
It's wagging.
Her with hair just looks
I'm
ridiculous.
the dragon.
I don't know. The professor is roughly the same, I guess.
Whoa,
More detail,
Rough
but-
landing. Hi, which way's the beach?
I guess if
stop
I'm watching the
staring.
cutscenes, I shouldn't talk over them. I'll just get to gameplay. That's what I'm here for anyway.
I spy.
God, I've got to get used to these controls. Because after I played through Spyro 1, just for fun, I played through Spyro 3 on my Switch, and now I'm completely used to that. I think Spyro 2 is probably the best of the three games. My favorite is Spyro 1. I just know that one's so much better. I think it has the best music. But Spyro 2 is kind of more clean. But as I was going through Spyro 3, every single level, I was like, it's not one of my favorite levels. And I came to realize that there's only a couple levels in all of Spyro 3 that I would consider some of my favorite levels from the series. So many more are in 1. Well, almost every level in Spyro 1 I like in some regard. But like Icy Caverns is one of my least favorite levels in Spyro 1. I would take it over almost any level in Spyro 3. Spyro 2 still also has a lot that I like. Glimmer's okay. I mean, it's a pretty basic starting level. Wrong keys. Pretty basic starting level. But like, there's Hurricos. I like Hurricos a lot.
Hi,
There's, what is it?
mean,
Fracture Hills with the satyrs. A lot of fun. We'll be there in an hour or two. I can't remember what my time record is for Spyro 2. I don't expect to beat it. I know Spyro 1 a lot more, and when I go on a hiatus from Spyro for like 2 or 3 months, I usually come back and play Spyro 1, and then I'm pretty good. So that's the one that I keep in practice for more. I like Spyro 2. Spyro 3. I mean, I consider them all kind of one game anyway. Money bags. One of the best things from Spyro 3 is the ability to run down money bags.
to get
I'm not sure if it's a better use of time to do as much as I can here and come back, or if I should just come back and 100% everything once I can climb. But, I don't know. I'm in the habit of getting everything. my usual technique is to get as far as I can and then come back and just clean up what I have to. Though the faster way is probably run through as fast as I can the first time around, then come back and clean it up later. It's awkward to get over to the F key. There we go. Okay. It's going to take some getting used to. And I have to get used to it for this game. Whereas I could just about get through Spyro 1 without actually using the button to drop down. Hovering's pretty important. I'm going to have to hover. Learn to hover. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to split these videos up yet. I'm thinking probably 4 videos for this. World 1, World 2 will be 2 videos because that's twice the size, and then World 3. That's my guess. I don't know. Another reason why I like the Spyro 1 soundtrack a little bit more than the others is that every place has its own song. I noticed this more in Spyro 3 where it's like every song's used for 2 or 3 levels. I don't know, it just gets rid of a little bit of that different touch that each level otherwise has.
These little lists.
My nitpicky stuff.
Nice.
I'll take the nice little walking on the lip. Faster, slave, faster. I once ran a D&D campaign based off of Spyro 2, and I think I made these guys gnomes, which is weird because I hate gnomes. They actually put the little exclamation mark using the cliches.
To hit that lip.
The cliche RPG mechanics for Spyro. I find that a little ridiculous. I love and hate how Spyro runs. How he like prattles along. Again, I don't like how, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before, with the remaster they made everything look cartoony. I know they're trying to make Spyro appeal to a young audience, but ultimately that's not who actually is interested in playing the game. It's the people who played it however many years ago, who are at this point young adults or older, and don't really want as cartoony of a game. Like I would want Spyro to look, particularly the dragons in Spyro 1. I love how they gave them all their separate personality and everything, but I want them to look freaking ferocious, not like, oh, this guy's sleeping with a teddy bear. It's probably my least favorite one. I want a dragon that looks like he's gonna rip your arms off. Or maybe that would be a Wookiee, but save his crop of gems. That's always funny. I guess gems do grow, in fairness. Actually, again, for D&D, Kat and I grew some gems for a dwarven mine. We actually got this stuff in some little science kit. Then they grow over the course of a week or two just by putting some powder and a gem seed type thing in water. It was pretty cool. It was pretty neat. That dwarven mine actually looked pretty good. The one that we made. A lot of styrofoam painted over for the walls. We got a whole bunch of like little colored beads that we put in the wall for like big ore veins. I thought it looked pretty fantastic. Gotta go kill Ripto. Which, of course, the name Ripto came from Spyro 1, when the cover art of it, when it was in Japan. I think it was Japan. In Japan, the name Spyro looked more like Ripto. And then that's the name where Ripto came from. Though, of course, in other countries, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage is known as Gateway to Glimmer. I've always known it as Ripto's Rage, because I'm American, as anybody can probably tell.
Spyro, this is...
Laura, the source of a lot of porn art online. See, again with the music, me being nitpicky, I'm not sure if I love or hate the music here. It's just like it's huge wind chimes almost. It's like borderline annoying but also calming at the same time.
Hey, Spyro.
I don't know. My own thoughts, I guess. Collected. This water it's gonna create a huge mud puddle. Is this a glitch or is this just something I hadn't noticed before in my couple other times playing through Spyro 2 Remastered? Anyway, me standing there and looking at a waterfall probably isn't good for the whole speedrun thing. But then again, I think 10 seconds of me staring at a waterfall isn't going to make or break it. What's going to make or break it is me getting stuck on certain mini-games, probably.
Nice.
That was weird.
Okay. Nice.
Hover mechanic. It's always a little bit of a mind fuck the first time going from one Spyro game to another with from Spyro 1 to 2 or 3 where you lose the hover. Alright, I think I've got to do Colossus first because there's no swimming in Colossus. There is in the other place. Yay, Colossus. The Yeti! I remember this in my D&D campaign. Of course, I actually made them fight the Yeti. Because it was a big boss guy. The D&D campaign it just lasted into World 2 of Spyro. I've never done World 1 as a D&D campaign. World 1. Spyro 1 as a D&D campaign. And I'm not saying Spyro lends itself pretty well because there's a lot of enemies. It's largely combat based. So I can literally take this map. There's like these few areas. So right here there would be a combat here, some puzzle to get through the doorway. And then there's the next area here where they would fight a couple of like enraged yaks. It would be really good if there was a druid or a ranger in the group. They could use wild empathy and try to calm the animals instead of just killing them. Because it's nice to let people use their unique mechanics. Makes them feel special. Another puzzle for the next little doorway. Though I think I might have just put the monks there. I might have put like one little puzzle thing in, but I don't know.
Each time you did...
Puzzles are the hardest things to put in D&D campaigns. It's easy enough to put enemy encounters in, and you can balance them without too much issue if you have much of an idea what you're doing. But coming up with puzzles that challenge the players without frustrating them, that's a bit of a talent, I guess. I love all the artwork everywhere too, just like showing the other levels. Like the Spyro 1 artisan home that has no business being here. Hey. Because of course Spyro went to basically a different dimension through the portal.
Remember...
I do miss the YIIO with these guys, though. YIIO. I'm getting achievements without even trying for it. Apparently there's something for headbutting all of the goats. See, that looks fun. Why can't we go over there and, like, go on a minecart race? At the last second, it just pops it back straight up. Because they delayed the release of the Spyro Reignited trilogy so that everything would be very clean and neat. And it's buggier than the original games by far. In my experience, I never had much of an issue with bugs in the main games. Nothing game-breaking like what I've found and seen here. When Reignited first came out and I watched Jacksepticeye's playthrough of the first Spyro, there was the one point where where a gem just didn't spawn, just wasn't there. And then I've had the same issue a couple times. I think there was a gem in front of Icy Caverns that didn't spawn for me. And they took all the time to make sure that everything was made neat, and they redid all the dragons to give them their own specific thing. To make sure all the dragons in Spyro 1 were different and distinct, and then all the dragons the baby dragons in Spyro 3, they use the same dozen animations over and over and over again. You know, he had to turn around to get that. I think that's bullshit. Nah, the bull isn't until the last world. You have to fight the bull. That one was better. I remember being so frustrated with this when I was a kid. Well, that was easy.
Well done.
Well done. Have this. And now for the hard one.
Would you...
Though this one's not timed. Puck. Right towards the corner. There's 2 points. And now that I've learned the pattern and set it into the routine, this is pretty quick. I think this might actually be easier than in the original. I remember this guy actually adjusting more to where you aim. Because I'm clearly just going for that corner and he doesn't care. It's like, oh no, this is the closest part of the goal. He's going to shoot here. Yay!
Well done. Have this.
If you stare at it long enough, you might not see anything. I never noticed the audience up there. That's kind of funny. Oh, was Spyro sliding again? I seem to recall... I mean, obviously he's on ice. I read somewhere how to fix that, but I can't remember. I've still got to go up. I should really just get an Xbox controller or something and hook it up. I wonder if you can hook up a PS4 controller, because that's what's still the most natural to me after however long. Because Spyro was for PlayStation.
Thank goodness.
that 8 times now. Come on. Kind of want to play Jack and Daxter now. Damn it. For whatever reason, doing that right there just reminded me of Jack and Daxter in one of the first areas. You like are jumping around, using Bluey Go to make like super jumps. If anybody knows what the hell I'm talking about. Another one of the great 3D platformers. I played the first Ratchet and Clank too, which was pretty good. But as far as PS2 goes, I always preferred Jack and Daxter. How am I missing 5 of them? 6. This guy. I think there's 1 here. I don't think there's one up here. Alright, I'll stop doing that now. I think the last 2 are actually like right in front of where we started. You know, I definitely remember being able to do that. Go straight from one of those jumpers into the other. Yeah, there we go. And this should be it for this level. Yay! First 100%ed level. Ooh. And I should have enough money to pay off money bags for swimming lessons now. I think it's like 500. Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Okay, so if you go in the water, you can swim. Oh, one of the things I hate about Reignited. Again, you can't deny things look nicer. But it's so hard to see gems underwater. Okay, everything being kind of blue and tinted. Yes, that's more realistic. It makes more sense, but it takes away from the gameplay. You can't see the gems as well. I'm assuming there's no more gems right here. But it's really hard to see them. And there's other places throughout...
Sparks.
Yes, I know what Sparks is. There's other places throughout Reignited that, like, there's high grass. The much better looking, detailed, tall grass everywhere, instead of things just being a plain green plain. Though it's kind of funny that they did keep just a base of green and then put grass on top of it. If they were going to do that, you'd think they would make the grass thick and put, like, brown for dirt. You know, if they were going for true realistic. Man, there were so many design conflicts, I think. These gems are just floating here, too. They're not actually resting. Because they took extra time and delayed the release for attention to detail. Which, I swear, extends to Spyro 1 only. So I've obviously ranted about how there's things I don't like about that. And my critiques of everything, they come from a place of love. Like, anybody who plays this game was probably their childhood. And so I'm a little upset when things aren't perfect. See, that red gem I had no idea was there, because it was hidden in tall grass next to a bunch of red flowers. Again, the graphics taking away from the gameplay. The voices I don't really have an issue with the exception of Hunter. I think Hunter's awful, and that's probably my biggest complaint with the games as well. I can forgive a little bit of the gameplay things. And I don't like all the graphic changes, but Hunter's voice just makes me want to go strangle somebody who I don't know. Not sure if it would have to be somebody involved with it either, but somebody ought to be strangled for it. Probably me. Not that I'm into that kind of thing, but also I'd be willing to try that kind of thing. Probably not, actually. No, it's really not my thing. I just like to be included because I have no friends. I remember putting these puzzles against. So when I ran Spyro 2 as a campaign, I ran it for my brother Christian and his buddies who were in 6th grade at the time. I expected these puzzles to like really stump them. They solved this one in like 2 minutes flat. And there goes Spyro sliding again. I forget how to fix it. I know there was a thing. Maybe I might take a break after like World 1 or halfway through World 2, whenever that video is, and I'll probably look up how to fix it then. They really liked Bob and Bud though. They liked the two foremen. This has glitched out for me a few times and reignited, where I put one bad fish in and then fish just stop spawning. Again, though, this reminds me of Jack and Daxter, because there's the one fishing guy right in the way where you have to get 1 pound fishies and 5 pound fishies. And then, of course, there's the eels that you don't want. They're a little more distinct than just a different colored fish.
Okay, Spyro.
Oh, another achievement. Bad sushi. In my opinion, that's all sushi. I don't like seafood. I'm American. I like a big steak. I don't know, I'm just not big on seafood. Well, not big. I don't like seafood. With the exception that I will sometimes eat salmon, and clam chowder I could drink by the bowl. Just good clam chowder, I should say. Like clam chowder that comes in a can from the store. Not so good. But like Red Lobster quality, that's pretty good. I really like Outback's clam chowder that they have on Fridays. I think it's only on Fridays, but it's like really spicy too, which is weird because I don't usually like spicy stuff, but apparently if you take all the food I normally don't like, seafood and spiciness, put them together. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Oh, we're gonna see the sad excuse for a supercharge soon for Spyro 2. Supercharge is my favorite part of Spyro, and it's not really in the game except for Spyro 1. And even then, if you really think about it, superchargers are in like 5 levels, maybe 6 or 7 in Spyro 1. I did the math once, I can't remember though. But Spyro 2, the supercharge is just in a couple specific areas. Well, in Spyro 1, it's like integrated into the level. Doing the supercharge is like part of going through the level. In Spyro 2, it's like the little mini-game thing. Okay, so definitely this one, then this one over here. Then it's going to be color, then move, and then triangle. There we go. Yay for puzzles. The key being there that there's the inside shape, the outside shape, and the color, and you have to find the pattern going by. You have to match one of those things every time you go through. Just simple stuff. I really like the Professor Layton games, so having played those in my mostly my late teen years, I played them like through high school more than anything, I guess that's not my late teen years, but high school and college. I don't think there's been a new Professor Layton game in a year or two. I should check. I like those. They're fun. But yeah, the puzzles in a Professor Layton game make these puzzles really easy. Of course, I also have done these 1,000 times was able to solve them as a kid. As a kid when I used to do that. I always found Moai really cool. Big tiki heads. I remember that's the first like cool looking thing I ever built in Minecraft. Obviously when you first get in you build like a huge box and you're like, oh look, I made a castle. When it's just a big fucking box. But the Moai is the first cool thing I made. Because those actually look neat. I'm pretty decent at building in Minecraft. At least architecture. That's the main thing I do in Minecraft anymore, is I'll go in and I'll just build. Survival's okay. They've changed survival a ton since I used to play. To the point that you don't even really need mods anymore. So many things that were like in mods. Like my favorite thing was pipes, was in the Technic pack. Apparently, you can do all of those things just with... Hell, I don't even know what they're called. Hoppers, that's the one. Ah, fuck. And hoppers have been in the game even for ages. Very long time. Okay, that was something that was considerably easier on the computer compared to like the Switch or something. Apparently I can't see this.
Look at that. The hula girls' ring dance blew up.
They look really weird. I mean, they didn't look... They looked pretty weird in the original game, but they look even weirder in Reignited. I think. And my opinion matters most, because I like Spyro the most. I kind of feel like that, but I realize it's not the best sense to have. I almost fell. Anybody else tense up when I almost fell? I have to keep looking for where the F button is. Back in grade school, we were supposed to do a lot of type to learn, but instead of actually doing type to learn and learning to type, which is what type to learn is all about, I realized, I played games. I was a good but very lazy student. Meaning I would get good grades, I behaved, but I didn't participate in class, I didn't pay attention. But I always was one of the top in my class, so I didn't care. Grade school and high school. Then of course I finally get to college where you learn things that aren't just common sense. Once you get to advanced courses, like my first math courses, it was such basic math and people didn't know what they were doing. I was dumbfounded. Of course, I always went to private school, so there's a huge difference between public and private school, at least in the States. Root beer. Man, root beer's so good. Okay, so this is the outside the castle part. I think I've done everything out here. Aside from Glimmer. Come back and clean up Glimmer. I tested meticulously before starting this speed run. If you could do the thing where you... In the original game, you used to be able to go from the one fly point and fly to the second thing where you need to go around in a circle and light all of the lanterns. I'm fairly certain you can't do that anymore. Because I still had half of my flight bar, and once you get close enough, it's just gone. Unless maybe you can, like, get around it somehow, but... like, maybe it's just a small wall instead of a dome of programming around it. I don't know how that stuff works. I didn't mean to go into Sunny Beach yet, but here we are. Not one of my favorite levels. I actually kind of hate this level. The first bad level.
Hi.
I like Hurricanes though. I more than less, I guess. I don't know. I kind of love and kind of hate Hurricanes. I think I like it. Uh-oh. The puppy brought his bowl into the room, which means that he's out of water and he wants water. Which means he drank a lot of water. Which means he's gonna have to go to the bathroom. Start hearing barking in a minute. It's a dog that wants water. I might run and get him some when between levels. And now I'm just kind of rocking the music.
Workers have captured.
I didn't know Yoda was a turtle. Ow. I think that's the first damage I've taken. But frankly, I usually take some damage at this level. If only because it's at least partially a water level, and water levels suck. Speaking of which, Aquaria Towers is in World 1. This whole region, though, to get back on the D&D topic, because I like it. This whole area is actually the Spyro 2 world is a pretty large region in the D&D world. I changed it from Avalar to Evalar, partially because my sister-in-law is Avalon, and so having something that's very close to her name is kind of weird. It'd be like if I were to say, and this is the country of Daniel, ruled by King Daniel, and the Danielites. It's kind of a weird thing to have all of that. So I changed it to the tribes of Evalar, which are basically small independent kingdoms that have a combined unity of like a defense treaty, I guess, to some extent. So yeah, they have that, I guess. Sorry, I apparently really have to focus to hit a couple of fireballs. Apparently I need to focus more. But yeah, it's a huge swath of territory that has a small number of clans and tribes, basically each individual level. And then each of them owes allegiance to one of the 3 large castles in the area, which are the castles of Summer Forest and Autumn Plains, all the Spyro homeworlds. There was Lord something something, I gave him a name, the Hunter, Lady Allura of Autumn Plains, then the Professor, Lord something or another of Winter Tundra. So each of them, I gave each of them a name, except for Allura, who actually has a name. I guess Hunter is a name, but I made Hunter his title instead. Professor, obviously, not so much a name. At least I've never met anybody named Professor. Except maybe Powerpuff Girls.
Most impressive.
I just realized there's a place back at the beginning of the level I have to go to. But yeah, so I gave them all a name. I gave them all a title. But of course, we only got to the magma level, which was like the first level, the first session of the second part was that magma level. Though I did give them the option of where they wanted to go. That's where they chose. They went there and bypassed the fire wizard, and then got to the end where I kind of combined a few things. There was a huge horde of dinosaurs being controlled by Ripto. I'm not sure if I used the name Ripto, but basically Ripto, a powerful sorcerer, had come to the region and was trying to conquer and take it over. He had enraged the dinosaurs. He was making the tribes fight each other. You know, all the stuff he basically did. And at the point that they ran past the fire wizards in the tunnel thinking, oh, well, we've run away from this encounter, it's done. Oh, look, we're in the village. The village was under attack by all the dinosaurs. And then the fire wizards came from behind because they're not dumb. It's not like in Spyro where, oh, you pass them and they just stay put. It's a realism is an important thing. So they came and attacked from behind. Everybody died except for, I think, one centaur character was able to outrun everybody and just ran away. But because of all of that, the evil sorcerer Ripto took over the tribes of Evalar. Since then, he's actually been forced to become subservient to the New Iberian Empire, which is a large ancient Roman-esque empire. But he's pretty happy with his position and authority right now. I hate life. He has some plans to, of course, become independent and break off from the Empire, or take over the Empire. That actually sounds much more Ripto-esque. It's like, oh, you think I'm going to be subservient to you? Well, I'm just going to take you over. Ripto doesn't realize how out of his league taking over the Empire would be, but that wouldn't stop him. After all, he shows up with 2 minions and almost takes over Avalar in this game. God damn it! I keep hitting, like, turning into a wall or something. I don't know. God damn it, Aquaria Towers. I really don't want to go to Aquaria Towers. Can we just 100% the game without Aquaria Towers? That honestly might be my least favorite level in all of Spyro. Like, even the games I haven't played. Yay! Aquaria Towers is so bad. And the worst part of Aquaria Towers is it's a nice paradise of land, and then you as the player have to turn it into this watery wasteland. It's horrible. To Hurricos. The janitor sleeping on the job like usual. Oh, something I wanted to get back to, though, is a lot of Spyro 2, there's actually, like, some cool backstory to it that you have to kind of read into the game a little bit to understand. I didn't understand it until I started playing these games after, well, I was a kid, and then, like, 10 years later, I'm like, oh, Spyro, I haven't played that since I was a kid. Ever since then, I've been playing it, like, every few months. I have to pick Spyro back up again. But as a kid, there was I never understood, particularly in Spyro 2, a lot of the backstory stuff going on. So basically, there's a bunch of levels that are created kind of in pairs, and the stories in those levels pretty much go together. So, like there's a whole war going on between the land blubbers and the I don't know what the people are called. Whoever the bird people are in World 2. But there's the breeze builders, something like that. But there's a war going on between them. So that was one of the big things in the D&D campaign is there's a war going on. You guys have to try to find a peaceful solution. And it's funny that in Spyro, you actually play both sides of the war. In the breeze builder level, you have to kill all the land blubbers who are trying to put out the fires, and you power up their warship to go attack the land blubbers. And then in the land blubber level, there's all the birds who are like bombing the land blubbers. Those big like snail people. These enemies that I'm killing right now, by the way, are in some form a reference to Ratchet and Clank, or a rough inspiration for Ratchet and Clank, probably. Because I'm pretty sure the first Ratchet and Clank game was PS2. I haven't played that in ages. Wasn't that remastered sometime recently? Pretty sure. Then I heard there was like a giggle in there. Is that the fairy giggling at me? Didn't I hear something like that in playing through Spyro before as well? The playthrough of the first game. It might be the fairies. They might giggle at you. Because that would make sense. For sure I was going to get hit there. Exterminate. Oh, they're a Dalek reference now, are they? I haven't watched Doctor Who in a while. The last season I watched was the last Peter Capaldi season. I don't even think I watched the Christmas special after that. I thought Peter Capaldi was going to be such a really cool doctor and very different, like the angry, grouchy guy. Which is so drastically different to at least any of the doctors since the new Doctor Who. I watched a little bit of the old Doctor Who, but it was a little too slow, a little too dry for me, and I couldn't actually find it on a really good site to just watch everything. But anyway, I thought Peter Capaldi was going to be really cool, really drastically different. All he ever did as the Doctor was clean up storylines from the previous Doctors. He never got to become a Doctor in his own right. Did he even have his own companion? I don't think so. I'm not sure. But I feel like that they took what great potential in Peter Capaldi to be something new and different, and instead made him last a season and a half. Well, I guess I think it was 2 seasons.
Spyro,
I don't know. I feel like it was so much potential that they just threw away. He could have done so much more. And I haven't quite forgiven them for that. There was also the whole Doctor becoming a girl thing, which I don't know. It's weird. They had teased it in one of the other episodes, and of course the Master came back as the Mistress. But the actual Doctor being changed feels like them just trying to forcefully get on that hype train of everybody kind of trying to be like that. I don't know. I know I'm not alone in that opinion either. Most of the people I know who watch Doctor Who said, like, yeah, The doctor being a woman is weird. I don't know. Maybe it works. Again, I'm much more upset about how Peter Capaldi never really got to... In how I see things, he never really got to come into his own being the doctor. And my having to look down at the keyboard to find that the F key is right next to the D key I'm using for movement keeps making me miss this jump. In fairness, these are one of the harder series of jumps in the game. Am I just mistiming the distance? Do I just suck at this game and I think I'm good? And everybody I've ever raced just purposely goes easy on me because they think I'm stupid or something? Let Daniel win, it's the one thing he has. Anybody else ever have thoughts like that? Everybody secretly thinks you're a moron and just patronizes you to be nice. Just me. Maybe my dad. Maybe my dog. Nice. I don't know why I delayed jumping towards that. Here. Jump for this immediately. Hey, it's working out better. Oh, thank God. I really didn't want to go back. So the worst part's still coming. Okay. And Spyro's just sliding back and forth. There we go. Whoosh. I'm sorry, I'll stop singing along with the music, though. I do feel like I need to say... I feel like I need to say something. I feel like I need to talk. That's how YouTube works, right? Man, did you see how flawlessly I clipped that other clip of somebody doing those jumps in quick sequence? And then changed back when I just headbutted the clip? Maybe I'm finally getting good after doing this jump 30 times. Doubtful, but I'll live in my fantasy world. And force all my D&D players to live in it too. I haven't actually run a D&D campaign in, I think, a year and a half. I've run a small series of one-offs, but... Fuck, I didn't hit the... I did hit the button. I didn't mean to hit the button! Why can't Spyro know what I mean to hit instead of what I actually do? Can you stop sliding, Spyro? I really don't like it. I feel like I wasn't at the very top of my jump there. Okay, that's better. Gotta stop talking, I'm in try-hard mode. Whew, there we go. It's awful noisy in there. What a great reason to knock him. Why were we shutting down the factory anyway? You would think these guys would be like, please have the factory on. They look like the kind of guys that like progress in technology. Which is a steam-powered giraffe reference. I think all I've got are the gear grinders over here. It was really cool how the original Spyro, like half of the NPCs were voiced by Tom Kenny. Just everything was Tom Kenny all over the place. Tom Kenny as Spyro. Tom Kenny as the professor. You can tell he was the Electricals. He wasn't Hunter. He wasn't Alora. He was about everybody else, though. I don't think this one actually goes up here. I think there's another one down there that I just didn't see. I hate how you have to kind of go around and just keep popping these in to keep the guys spawning. Just put all 10 of the purple guys in a line and let me flame them. I'm trying not to do the background music, but at the same time, my voice is so beautiful. I sound better than at least like 1 out of 3 people. My problem is I know how to sing, I just can't. When I actually sing, I sound, well, not as good as I did in high school back when I was like in choir and sang on a regular basis. But I actually sound like crisp and clear. I can raise and control my voice really well. The problem is I'm tone deaf and can't control the notes that I sing, which is more of just natural talent than something you can really practice. That being said, I mean, certain songs, your body eventually learns the patterns, I guess. Is that how it is for normal people? For all songs they sing? Probably. My philosophy's on singing. And dancing. I don't know. I don't dance. Not really. I say I don't dance. I don't dance in public. Dancing is very much a spontaneous thing for me. If I like go to a rave, which I've been at a couple times at con, I've like walked into the rave, I sit there, I shake my head yes, and then I walk out. I don't like to dance when it's like expected of you. It's always a spontaneous thing for me. Because then like daily, I'll turn on some music while I'm cooking dinner, Kat will be in the room, and I'll just grab her and start dancing. And she gets mad, but she likes to dance, I think, less than I do. Our wedding is going to be great. But yeah, I grab her and just start dancing. And she's like, I don't want to dance. And I'm like, please dance with me. And then she just kind of lets me pull her along in whatever way. It's very adorable.
Thank you, Spyro.
And what I think is most important to me. I think I gathered this already. I guess I didn't gather that already. There it is. Oh, I died. When I died, it probably put it back. Because I actually specifically remember I grabbed that one. Because I had to turn around and come back for it.
Thank you.
Yay! Another mechanic from Spyro 1 that I wish they would bring back is the Super Flame. Like, not like the fireballs that you shoot. I guess that replaced it, I guess. Where in Spyro 2 and 3 you get the super ball, the fireball that you can shoot at like a huge distance and it does more damage and stuff. Once again, I prefer the Spyro 1 where instead of that your flame breath just does more damage. More damage, namely it harms metal. Spyro as a dragon is kind of weird too. He operates differently than dragons in like any other media. And by any other media, I primarily mean D&D. But
Nice work.
yeah, let's do the flight. The flight's fun. The flight's a good change of pace. It's like the only mini game type thing from Spyro 1. But like charging, that's not a mechanic that dragons do at all in D&D. Next time I make a dragon, I'm probably going to make him have a charge attack of some sort. Probably just take the Minotaur and make it weaker or stronger depending on the size of the dragon. Because I know Minotaurs have a charge attack. This is actually pretty, not too bad with the mouse and keyboard. The old flight. Crap, what the hell was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, at least dragons do have breath attacks, like they do in everything else. Spyro mostly breathes fire, occasionally breathes ice. Though a lot of classic dragons breathe poison. You know, whatever. Fire's the cliche, so Spyro breathing fire makes sense. But then other dragons, they bite things in every media besides D&D. Dragons bite and attack that way. I guess Spyro is a small dragon, so his bite attack wouldn't work as well. Kill the bystanders. No witnesses. And
I guess now.
I remember this being
All right, Spyro.
shitty. It's not a race, you follow Hunter. But they have their bite attack, they always have claws. Hunter actually goes on about it in that opening cinematic we watched half of. They have claws like this, they have fangs like this, and they spit fire like this. Fuck. Just start over.
It's all right.
I actually hate the fish lady looks like this. She looks better. She looks better in the ancient polygons of Spyro. Yeah, so like dragons charging is just a weird thing. Did I actually get that one ring? Yeah, I was gonna say
All right.
I didn't hear the little bloop, even though at least a good portion of Spyro's body went through that fucking ring. How annoying would it be if it actually made you actively flap your wings? Hey, look, I made a good turn. Not blinded by the sun. Again, aesthetically, cool to be blinded by the sun. Gameplay-wise, which I definitely think is the biggest part of Spyro, not so much. Spyro's never been about the graphics. The music, although very good, it's one of the music soundtracks I listen, game soundtracks I listen to, with actually probably more regularity than I probably should. It's not about the music. It's definitely not about the graphics. Spyro's always been about the gameplay, the actual playing the game. That is the fun part of Spyro, being challenged. And I love how Spyro does it, that in the beginning of the game, you have pretty much everything you can do. You charge, flame, you glide. Those are your three things that get you through the game. And every level is just a new way challenging you to use those things in new ways. So, I don't like how the graphics get in the way of the gameplay. The gameplay is the big thing about Spyro. The story, as I've said before, is... well, it's not god-awful. It's not that it's bad. It's that it's mostly non-existent. Spyro 1 particularly. Nasty Nork froze the dragons. He's the bad guy. Go get him. That's the story. There's nothing else to it. Spyro 2, you get a little bit. oh, Ripto's a bad guy, he's doing this and that. You actually have other main characters that come back for more than, thank you for releasing me. Ah, God, Wario Towers. I think this is the last level, isn't it? Yeah, we're almost through World 1. Shit. But, well, that's no fair. I was in a cutscene, you bastard. I don't know. What the hell was I saying? Oh, yeah, the storyline in Spyro. Yeah, there's not much story. It's okay. It was enough for me to rip off her D&D campaign, but I was going to change the story anyway, so at least a little bit. Flesh out the story is probably a better term. Notice I get everything before getting the water in, because the water sucks. All we need now is a Reaper Leviathan. I don't know. What kind of sound does a Reaper make? Not that I'm very good at impressions anyway. In fact, I'd say I'm pretty bad at impressions. Despite being in theater back in the day in high school, I was never particularly good on impressions. Again, actually actively bad at impressions. If I only had a couple wishes, that would be on the short list of things, is to be able to do perfect impressions of people. Kat loves watching this one guy on YouTube that, on the YouTubes, all you kids out there. She loves watching this one guy who does Disney impressions and goes around the Disney parks and does Disney impressions to the associated people. It's like there was a Peter Pan and he goes up and does a Captain Hook impression. And it's really cool when the people at Disney like play along with it too. The Peter Pan was trying to get a bunch of kids nearby like, we've got to take down Hook. Come on, everybody. And the one guy's there like, come on, Mr. Shmee. Oh, no, Captain, after you. God, that was probably my best Shmee and Captain Hook impressions I've ever done. Which, I mean, they weren't perfect, but I was going to say, without me even saying who it was, but I did directly say their names while getting zapped several times because I got caught on something. Some invisible little wall over there. I got caught on. Now I have no sparks in a level that I'd really rather have sparks because it's a water level.
Hi, Spyro.
Water sucks. It's a deal. I think that's from Rudolph. Yeah, that is Rudolph when he first meets the elf that wants to be a dentist. They say, let's be misfits together, and then Rudolph says, it's a deal. God, I haven't watched that movie in years. But I watched it so much as a kid, don't need to watch it every year. I watched Rudolph mostly when I was like really young. Then when I got a little bit older, I still like the animated the animated Christmas movies. Don't get me wrong, but I've kind of moved to liking the more traditional themed ones. So instead of Frosty and Rudolph, I like more of the Santa Claus is coming to town. Those kind of ones. What the hell? I swim this way and then Spyro floats backwards. It's probably more of that sliding glitch, right? Because they took extra time to make sure the game is really clean and then there's a sliding glitch where Spyro just kind of glides off on his own whichever direction he wants. Whee! That's not how physics works. These sharks terrified me as a kid. Still kind of do. I don't like sharks. Don't like water. I've been in the ocean like twice. I'm probably good. I'm not really big on swimming either. Just give me a hot tub. I'll stick with that. Hey, achievement, Lockjaw. Killing all these bastards, which you basically have to do to get all the gems anyway. So many of the achievements are just things you have to do. I think there's one for every level. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't complain. I like achievements. I like the free dopamines shot into my brain. You kind of get a lot of it just from playing Spyro in general. Like, every time you pick up a gem, just that little twinkle sound is very satisfying. In my own not-so-humble opinion. Asterisk, asterisk. Is it a natural thing as you get older just to have more stronger opinions on everything? Like, as a kid, you just take things for face value, and that's just how it is. Then as you get older, you start forming your own opinions and start hating everything. I was thinking about Doctor Who again, how, like, you start watching Doctor Who, and you're like, oh, okay, so this is what Doctor Who is, and then you start to like it and get invested in it, and then when something against your expectations happens, you're just like, no, what the hell? It's so bad. Game of Thrones, to a similar extent. Star Wars. I am of the hating the sequels, but I love the prequels. I grew up with the prequels. Then again, there's people my age who grew up with the prequels and still don't like them. I'm fine with the prequels. I think the sequels, particularly Episode 8. Episode 8 was probably a great movie. It had a bunch of big things. It wasn't Star Wars. That is my complaint. It is not how most of Star Wars works. It's a big cinematic movie. It's got all kinds of cool things. One thing I hate about a lot of modern day action movies, though, is that they throw too much comedy in. A little bit of comedic relief, yeah, that's fine. But like, take the Hobbit movie, for example. Having the whole thing with the King of the Goblins. The Goblin King, you might call him. Everything with him is just a big fucking gag. His whole look and everything is just awful. And then, how are you going to kill me? And then they just slash him like through his second chin. And he says, "Oh, that'll do it." That's so dumb. And then, of course, the whole bridge collapses and everything. They're all at the bottom, and then, boom, he hits after that. It's just cheap slapstick comedy, I guess. Which some slapstick is good from time to time, but I don't know. It ruins the overall movie. Because things are happening, and then just like, ha ha ha, look, it's a joke. Look, we can make jokes in a movie, ha 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 ha. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't know. Do I have any other controversial opinions? Probably. We could start talking about politics. Let's not do that. I don't want to lose the 4 viewers we actually have. Because I'll probably find a way to offend everybody. God, stop entering that view mode. Oh, I think I was hitting F, not D. That would explain a lot.
You.
Oh, I did it. It would have been really fun when we got to Aquaria Towers in the campaign, because somehow everybody would have had to go underwater, including the frickin' centaur. Yay! Now hunter's shit.
I've been trying.
Yeah.
Great.
Let's do it. I hate the following the rings of somebody who's like just ahead of you. It's one of my least favorite things. Because you need reaction distance, but it doesn't let you get behind.
What? Now that the man.
I guess it's mostly just reaction time. It's not. I'm instinctively thinking it's an inverted mouse, but it's not. Wait, it's letting me just come back and catch up. God, I don't even know where everything is. I missed one at some point, Hunter. I know. I think he went through the tunnel. I'm pretty sure he goes through that tunnel. It's not inverted mouse, but I instinctively think it's inverted mouse. I keep thinking it's an inverted mouse. It's not. Daniel, you've got to realize it's not an inverted mouse. God, it's not an inverted mouse. Stop thinking it's an inverted mouse. Okay, whatever. I'll take it. Is there a way I can change that setting? Because that's gonna fuck me. It's gonna fuck me hard. Our world is wet again. British seahorse says. Yay! I hate water levels. Flame. Alright, I think that's everything for here.
Well done, Spyro.
6 talismans. Of course, in the D&D campaign, I made all the talismans like really
Before you get to the
cool
castle
or
dungeon,
powerful
Spyro,
items too.
I thought that you might want to know how Ripto and his monsters.
So that was fun. Crush. Of course, I made them fight Crush. I don't remember too much in particular, so they probably just kicked his ass. Ow. Oh look, health. Because reignited is easier and they drop health in every boss fight as soon as you take damage. there's an extra sheep just walking around. Look how lovably stupid these guys are. The boss fight is effectively the same. I don't think there's really any significant difference. The boss fights in Spyro 2 and 3 are a lot better than 1. In Spyro 1, you kind of don't realize they're boss fights most of the time. It's like, oh, there's an enemy that takes 3 hits instead of 1. That's weird. And you're like, oh no, that was Blowhard. I guess that was the boss. Didn't even attack me, I just ran up to him and flanked him 3 times. This, though, clearly, boss fight. He has a health pool, he's got like these power-up stations. Ow. I think I put the little things on the ground, too, in D&D. I like D&D. D&D's fun. Crush defeated. Oh no. Did he take a bite out of his club? It looks like he took a bite out of his club. Yeah. Moneybags, you're a big doof. A strong capitalist, but a big doof. Anyway, we'll leave this episode here. That's World 1 done, aside from a little bit of cleanup I have to do once I have the, the climbing upgrade. But thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye-bye.